Canada's business news network, BNN, a division of Bell Media.
Welcome to The Pitch. Now, two budding entrepreneurs will get just a fleeting 90 seconds to win over a hard-eyed panel of capitalists and startup experts. If our panel likes the idea, they'll help our dreamers take it to the next stage, introduce them to some of the best business minds around. But there is a catch. They can hate both schemes, send them on their way. Here's The Pitch.
My name is John, CEO of Venio, and we provide you with a personalized nutritional guide around you and your health.
My name is Joshua Aridin. My company Campaign 2 is going to change online activism.
Hi there, welcome to our show. You know the formalities here, you know the format. Let's tell you about the people our entrepreneurs have to win over today. To my left, Stuart Thornhill, Executive Director at the Pierre L. Morissette Institute for Entrepreneurship at the Richard Ivey School of Business. Great to see you again.
Great to be back, Andy.
You're back to school. Any big initiatives at the school right now?
It's, well, at the Ivey School, we're
Yep.
just preparing to move into a brand new building next year. We have more than 600 undergraduates coming in, ready to start their business careers. And more than ever, entrepreneurship's on the top of their minds. They come into business school thinking, how can I run my own business when I get out of here?
More than just looking for a corner office and a 9-to-5?
There's still some of that, but it's astounding, the interest, and we see it on the applications. When asked why they want to come to business school, it's because they want to run their own show.
They want to be self-employed.
Absolutely.
That's interesting. So you think there has been a big mindset change?
It's fabulous. I mean, the fact that we have programs like this where entrepreneurs are the stars, that's really changed the mindset.
It's amazing. Well, of course, they call Israel Startup Nation.
Exactly.
And you think it's entering the culture in Canada as well?
100%.
Good stuff. We've also got Amit Monga, President and CEO of Northcore Technologies. Great to see you. One of the things you do at Northcore is you work with fledgling businesses. You provide financing, all kinds of advice.
That's right, Andy. Obviously, we've got our core business, which is in the enterprise space and the social commerce space. But we also have a division called NTI Labs, where we actually work with companies that need the technology team to kind of take them to the next level. And since I'm here in the company of Ivey here, I'm also an executive professor of finance at the University of Alberta.
Oh.
And we recently launched a very interesting MBA specialization in finance, where we actually are bringing in some industry courses, such as the practice of investment banking and venture capital. So they all watch this program as well.
So do you commute out to Alberta then regularly?
I go there, I would say, once every 2 months, and more of a kind of an overseeing role there. And but we offer these courses during the summer.
And we've also got Leslie Roberts once again. Great to see you, Leslie. And she's president and founder of the Go Forth Institute. Remind us what Go Forth does, Leslie.
Well, it's all about the entrepreneur here tonight, Andy. And Go Forth Institute is Canada's leading small business training company. So I'm in the presence of a lot of professorial people, and of course, being an entrepreneurship professor myself, I decided to leave and do something for Canada's entrepreneurs, and we've had some great success in the last 3 years. So
I know you have big things ahead of you. You're being rather reticent about that, but
yes.
I know you have big plans in the works. But
yes.
Tell us, what do you need to see in a pitch, Leslie?
Well, for me, Andy, it's all about proof. It's all about the plausibility of the idea. Do I believe the market segment exists? Do I believe that there's a need? What type of market research has been done to support any of the financial projections? Those are super, super important things to see in a pitch.
Okay, well, let's see if our entrepreneurs can match up to that. Our first contender will have 90 seconds to tell us how his mobile app can help people eat better. The pitch returns after this.
Canada's oil sands is energy at work for all Canadians.
Having the experience of working in a community, I get to see those actual tax dollars and royalty payments from the oil sands development making a difference. It's funding community development, it's funding, parks, it's funding hospitals, schools, social programming, and I'm able to see that impact. I tell everyone I possibly can that the oil sands really has a positive impact on the communities in which we operate.
first entrepreneur, John Carr Harris, is co-founder and CEO of Venio. 90 seconds, take it away.
So Venio is basically making every meal you eat healthy. By delivering as relevant and personalized plans as possible, we look to what kind of tastes and cuisines you love to eat. We look at the kind of price flexibility that you have, and we look at what kind of dietary restrictions you might have. And by using that information, we can create a relevant plan. And over time, we actually learn from your behavior with the application. So instead of just providing a one-size-fits-all solution, what we want to do is provide a very seamless, easy-to-use solution that doesn't require a whole lot of time and effort in terms of setting it up, a frictionless process to get going, and then adapts and learns from your activities with the application. What we've done and developed so far is an end-to-end solution from everything with delivering of recipes on the application to providing you with the steps and the ingredients that you require, and creating a shopping list by aisle so you can just seamlessly go through the grocery store and purchase the items that you require. From the customers that we've been talking to, that they say that this is a huge pain point that we've been trying to solve, and we're very excited to say that we're just waiting on Apple to release to the App Store, which should be available within the next couple of weeks for everyone to use. It's a free application for everyone, and we monetize via wellness programs. So basically what we're doing is we're showing insurance companies, we've found out the data points that they care about, and we're proving that those numbers exist with the client base that we've created.
Got to cut you off there, Stuart.
So I love the fact that you've thought this through from end to end, and the idea of the purchase map for buying the food is a neat innovation that I certainly haven't seen before. My concern, and I guess this is your hypothesis, is that it's not that we don't know that eating healthy is a good thing, it's that we don't always do what's best for us, and I'm concerned about getting that out there and being able to access people. Are you trying to help the converts, or are you trying to convert people?
We're starting with the motivated types already, so instead of trying to recreate the wheel, we think that motivation is a very hard thing to fix, and so we want to take time and understand the market better and eventually reach a much broader market. The existing market is huge for mobile healthcare apps. It was 300 million just 2 years ago. Last year it was 1.1 billion. So the market is growing, and we want to be there.
So when you plan to sell the analytics to insurance companies, will you be partnering with corporate groups or employers, or are you going to try to pick off your customers one at a time?
So we're going to be using existing sales teams that have been created by through insurance brokers. So insurance brokers and insurance companies are already selling insurance and already have the relationships built with the HR departments and the corporations. So we're just going to leverage them, and we already have created the sales pitch for them. So based on the conversations we've had, they said it's a very easy sale for them to do. So.
Interesting.
Can you just explain it again? How do the insurance companies and the employers fit in?
So basically, for every dollar a company puts into wellness, they'll get between $4 and $13 back. But it needs to prove that it works. So there needs to be some form of, hey, this is preventing illness, preventing costs, and that's what we're basically accomplishing with our product.
So the companies will pay you to provide it to their employees?
The companies will pay us to provide it for the employees, and the insurance companies will reduce costs for the companies.
Amit?
So my question is, you're looking for $500,000?
Yes.
And tell me about the user proceeds.
So we've already raised about $340,000. I wish it was
Try to get slip, yeah.
Not Instagram, but what we're going to use with those proceeds is basically to build out our technology. While our product is amazing, it's really the platform that we built behind that that's really the secret sauce. And we're API driven, so we've already been talking to big clients like Atkins, and we think that there's a lot of partnerships that could be made.
Leslie?
Well, I'm looking at the revenue model here, John, and I'm just wondering whether or not you could do a combination of business to consumer through the App Store, but also take advantage of Apple's new volume purchase program, the VPP, and do institutional sales. It sounds a little bit like all eggs are in one basket, and that would concern me as an investor. Can you talk to your marketing strategy and why you chose to sell the data versus the freemium premium model in the App Store?
So we actually wanted to run a SaaS model initially for B2C. What we found is people are willing to pay for it, but the amount of users you're going to collect is much lower, and the data points, you won't be able to collect enough data to prove it to the insurance companies. What we found, though, is because of the premium content partnerships we've developed, we can sell content through our platform through B2C. So there is revenue monetization strategies developed for that.
Potentially with institutions later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are the three sources of revenue in the company? Can you just walk us through that very quickly?
So on the enterprise side, per employee, $5 per month. And then we have in-app purchases for premium content. If you like Atkins Diet or if you like South Beach Diet, you can purchase that content. And we also are monetizing through the data. So the trends, we can predictively analyze where people like food that are like specific to cuisines or specific to cost flexibility. So we can actually tell restaurants where there's consumer demand and help them create new restaurants in those places.
That was John Carr-Harris, co-founder of Venio. Right after the break, we're going to be talking to the founder of Campaign 2. He says there's money to be made in online activism. The pitch continues after this.
The new Jeep Grand Cherokee's legendary off-road capability, exceptional mileage, and a best-in-class driving range will get you anywhere you want to go. And with this kind of luxury and comfort, it really is the only way to go. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever.
You're imagining things.
What you really need is a girls' night out.
You're making a big deal out of nothing.
Honey, we all have bad days.
You're your own worst enemy.
It could be a lot worse. It's just a phase.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself.
I don't get it.
And a few beers won't fix, right?
Take the day off. Crazy talk.
I know exactly how I feel. Stop
It's all in
drinking.
your head, man. Just get over it.
When you redesign the Toyota Camry, you need to change more than just the steel and the glass. You need brilliant ideas, like a side mirror that improves stability, making the bottom of the car as aerodynamic as the top for remarkable fuel efficiency, or adding the world's most proven hybrid system for exceptional performance. It's no wonder it's North America's best-selling car. The redesigned 2012 Toyota Camry, made from 30 years of our most brilliant thinking.
This week on App Central, swimming with sharks. Build a pop-up store in seconds. Plus, a wireless sound system to complement your decor. App Central, Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on BNN.
Our second entrepreneur is Joshua Errett. He's founder of Campaign 2. Welcome to the show, Joshua. 90 seconds, take it away.
So, we'll start with the thought experiment here. Imagine you're going to Amazon to purchase a book, and the Amazon sends you to 3 different websites to complete your purchase. Chances are you're either not going to buy the book or you're going to go to another vendor. But the reality is they would never let that happen because that's e-commerce, and they make it as seamless and simple as possible. But this is what we're doing right now with online activism. There's standalone sites for petitions, for fundraising, for volunteering, and they're never not collected on one site. And that's where my site, Campaign 2, comes in. I take all these disparate features from around the web and put them on one platform. This platform collects more than just petitions and volunteering and fundraising. It also collects momentum, which is how I plan to monetize it. Once you get to a certain amount of support on your given campaign, it stops and you start a subscription plan. I also have sponsorship plans where larger professional campaigns like, say, Greenpeace, for example, would pay for placement on newsletters or on my homepage. And then I also have transactional fees on fundraising. The idea behind online activism as being obsolete is I don't want to compete with petition sites. I want to make them obsolete. I signed my first petition in the 90s. Activism has moved a long way since then, but the web hasn't. So the idea is to make campaigning for the future.
Short and sweet. Leslie, would you start us off?
Yeah, you know, the numbers are already running through my head, Josh. So what I'm trying to calculate here is how many users would you actually need on your site in order to make this a viable venture? Are we talking about 1,000 users or 100,000 users? What's your, what's the go-to-market strategy to get you to that monetizing heaven?
Well, it's not all focused on users because I have some sponsorship opportunities there, which start on bidding. But I predict it's somewhere around, I want to grow at probably 10,000 users a year to remain above board in profitability. But I think that's a minimum. Right now, there's other petition sites online right now, like change.org. They get about 15,000 petitions a month, 10 million users. So I'm looking at cutting into a bit of that, which would give me anywhere from 5 to 8 million users in 2 years.
Okay, and where are you at now?
I launched less than 3 months ago. I've got 200 users and about 30 campaigns.
Okay.
So how would you actually go after these, potential target market? I mean, the guys who are actually using change.org, how do you actually get a piece of that market?
I think more people are using Facebook for online activism, so it's a good place to start there, and I've got a lot of reaction from that, trying to get people to come off Facebook, which really has no tools for online activism available to its users, and come to my site where I've dedicated the entire experience toward my target market here. But also I'm right now, I have posters up on university campuses, and I'm really going after that market, the Occupy market, the Tea Partiers, the people who are trying to organize to achieve something. And it's very simple to find those people online because they want to make a lot of noise.
So from an investor perspective, you're looking to raise $250,000 for the company. Quickly user proceeds, and if someone was to invest today, what kind of valuation are you looking at?
I would use most of that money toward marketing because I am trying to still get that user group, that base where I can start selling sponsorships, where I can introduce a better subscription model. But for valuation, I don't know. I guess I couldn't say there, or I wouldn't want to.
You're being cautious there, Stuart.
Sorry.
Well, first of all, congratulations. I think you're the first person who's ever managed to find a common link between the Occupy movement and the Tea Partiers in one sentence. So that was nicely done. But when you say that Facebook has no tools for activists, all I've seen in the media, I think all of us have seen in the past 2 years, is that the Facebook revolution, the fact that it's enabled so much activism to happen. Is the gap really there, and how does what you're doing fill that gap that I guess I'm having a little trouble seeing on the Facebook side?
Well, thanks for bringing that up, actually, because the news reports you're hearing about people using Facebook, they're actually gaming the site. They're not using it as Facebook, the founders of Facebook meant for that site to be used. It's meant for sharing photos, for giving up your data so they can sell ads. It's not meant for, say, organizing a protest or, fundraising, which they have no tool for, or, petitions, which they also have no tool for, which they could build those tools very easily, but they don't. Because activism is kind of a messy business. They don't want to be involved in it. But also, you see all those people creating Facebook campaigns, but when you go to look for them, you can't find them. There's maybe 50 of them around. They're all different. They're all doing the same thing, slightly different. It's hard to actually focus in on one and show your support with one site. And then, of course, somebody decides to shut it down, and you've lost all your momentum right there at that one Facebook user's whim. So it's really about, Facebook is a tool of communication. Campaign 2 is a place to house your ideas and to communicate from my site to Facebook and Twitter and everything else.
Have you given any thought to rules of engagement? Would there be restrictions on the type of things you could campaign for or against? And I'm almost envisioning competing campaigns both trying to go through your site. Would that create problems for management?
Well, the beauty of it is, it's gamified as well. So when you go onto my site, you decide to support one campaign over another. Your campaign, who gets the most points, gets up to the top of we have a trending widget, so it becomes more visible in similar campaigns. So it's all about he who has the most support in that case.
Gotta leave it there. Coming up, it's decision time for both of our entrepreneurs. They'll stand before the panel, ready to hear which business idea won the judges over or not. The pitch continues on BNN right after this.
Cherokee's legendary off-road capability, exceptional mileage, and a best-in-class driving range will get you anywhere you want to go. And with this kind of luxury and comfort, it really is the only way to go. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever.
Join the revolution in online trading at Virtual Brokers. Trade stocks as low as 99 cents with no ECN or exchange fees for any asset or activity level. Trade a selection of ETFs for free. Master the market with Virtual Brokers' professional feature-rich trading platform and powerful research tools. Trade stocks as low as 99 cents. Switch now and get 150 free trades. Virtual Brokers, high-end service without the high-end fees.
What is exceptional? Is it being 2% lighter or 5 millimeters lower? Introducing the all-new 2013 Lexus ES. There's not a single refinement that makes it exceptional. There are hundreds. The all-new ES and ES Hybrid. Discover the exceptional at esandthedetails.ca.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by National Bank Financial Markets. Client-inspired, performance-driven.
It's decision time. Our panelists heard those two different business pitches, and here's a recap. Our first entrepreneur, John Carr-Harris, co-founder and CEO of Venio.
So Venio is basically making every meal you eat healthy by delivering as relevant and personalized plans as possible.
And then we heard from Joshua Errett, founder of Campaign 2.
There's standalone sites for petitions, for fundraising, for volunteering, and they're never not collected on one site. And that's where my site, Campaign 2, comes in.
Panelists, over to you. Stuart, would you put money into Venio?
Venio's got a really neat angle on the insurance company and wellness play, and I think the end-to-end solution gives it a lot more usability than any others that I've seen, so I'm intrigued by that one.
You're intrigued. So what in particular? Just a hot area?
I think the increasing trend to try to control healthcare costs for large employers and large providers is going to continue to drive things in this direction. I think it's just a great place to be.
Amit.
I like the story as well. I think there's an opportunity to monetize the analytics. I think that needs to be designed right from the very beginning, but I think there's an opportunity to use that information on multiple levels.
Are you worried that insurance companies might get involved here and it's going to get complicated?
You know what? If they find out that you're drinking, 3 Cokes a day, and I'm sure your premiums are going to go up. But I'm kidding. But I think there is an opportunity to track what kind of information would actually have an impact at the metadata level, on the demographics and so on. And you could actually come up with some recommendation engines, right? So if they track your activity levels, for example, and they say maybe given that these are the conditions you have, maybe you want to try this today.
Leslie.
Yeah, I like the monetization of the analytic data, but I'm not sure that you've actually solved all of the pain here for the marketplace. The pain is actually taking those menus and that list of ingredients and doing something about it. That's where I would fall down completely on this idea. I'd be getting all these menus and I wouldn't simply have any time to actually go implement a health or wellness plan as prescribed by your organization. So I'm kind of on the fence with this one. I think there's great analytic data. That's where I'd monetize. And then let's just see whether or not the consumers actually implement what you're proposing.
So, John, they like the data analytics.
Yeah.
Any other reactions?
Well, just addressing your point, we have 6,500 signups so far that have already signed up for the application. And we have 43 partnered organizations within a multiple variety of verticals that are going to help distribute the product to the people who really need it.
Right.
Stuart, would you put money into Campaign 2?
Unfortunately, on this one, I see it as a great initiative. I don't see it as a great business. Just the numbers, I think, like Leslie, I was running them in my head, and I just have trouble getting to that exit positive multiple payoff point. So that one I'm a little more reticent about.
Why is that? Just rounding up these campaigns, getting money out of it?
Yeah, and just the amount of volume required by campaigns, and it's also a very noisy space, and it's one I think is going to be tough to really carve out that distinct position that's going to enable you to really be a clear leader.
Amit.
I think it's going to be a red from me as well. I just think that there are big players in the market, you know, Change.org and then Facebook as well. So getting a piece from that kind of those two big companies, I think was going to be a challenge. But having said that, I think what I would be looking for is, you know, is there a specific feature, or, you know, how do you get that traction? And I think we also talked about the size of the market, which I think talked about it's about 8 million or 10 million. I think that's a small market at this point in time from an investor's point of view.
Yeah.
Leslie.
Jeez. I agree with the panel. It's probably the first time ever. Probably the first time ever I've actually agreed with the entire panel. But you know, I think it's a little early on. You know, some of the questions we asked, you were hesitating with your answers, and I think when you're presenting to a panel of investors, you have to have that information nailed. You can't be trying to make it up as you go along. So just watching your presentation was actually gave me a little discomfort that you really didn't have a handle on the valuation, the monetization, the market. So I would watch this because I love online activism, but I would say you've got a little bit more work to do before I would decide whether it's a viable opportunity or not.
Joshua, was that helpful at all? Any reaction?
It was, yeah.
It was
but
mean.
I should say, though, in terms of the market size, the only thing that's separating you guys from needing to use my site is a cause, and everyone at the end of the day, something is bugging you somewhere, a stop sign or a speed bump or something that's necessary that you want to campaign for, and one day you'll need my site.
Good. Is there a danger, though, people, you know, oh, there's just millions of campaigns on the site and they'll just get devalued?
Again, that would be a good problem to have, millions of campaigns. But right now, that's what we're seeing, right? We're seeing too many petitions. They don't have any value. They don't work. I'm trying to introduce a new platform that I can build on and move beyond petitions and move beyond and kind of really see what this space can do and see how many people are in it.
Well, there you have it. You heard about it here first on The Pitch. Venio and Campaign 2. Thanks so much for joining us, John and Joshua. And thanks so much to our panelists as well, Stuart, Amit and Leslie. We're out of time on The Pitch. If you have a business idea, send it in to us, thepitch@bnn.ca. We'll be back at the same time next week.